The first step is to take the 3 bolts out holding the what I call propeller shaft bearing housing in, and you need a puller to pull that. There's 3 bolts going into some retaining rings underneath snap rings, and you just basically use a puller. I use a slide hammer and a guy like this to get in on the end, and you just bang on that. A lot of time they'll just fall out, but sometimes they're seized in pretty good. This one looks good so far, no rust on any of the bearings and real clean for a 30-year-old. Step 2 is you'll need this big snap ring plier, OTC 7295, to go ahead and go down in the gear case housing and pop those snap rings off that are in there. And there's 2, one and then another one. The one is safety. I guess they felt if they only had 1 snap ring and it let go, then the whole dry shaft would go flying out the gear case. So they basically have a second one redundant, so at least it keeps your guts together even though it's blowing up. But I don't know why they did 2. To me it seems redundant, but they were smart. There you go. There's see if I can't get, there you go. There they are right there. You can just see the edges of them. Step 2, part 2, you can see I got that big huge snap ring plier right on there, and all you got to do is, I'll see if I can't hold the gear case upright and do this at the same time. You squeeze that baby, torque it down, and then wiggle, and then out comes the first snap ring. And you repeat that for the second one. Then you turn the gear case prop shaft down, and the forward gear and thrust washers will fall out. Then your next step will be using the 11/16 wrench to take the prop shaft pinion nut off, and then pull the prop shaft out. Then the whole shaft will come out with everything, and basically that's it. Number 2 snap ring. Just finish the number 1. Pull that tight, wiggle it, out it comes. Next thing is turn the gear case over. See if I can't just balance this like that. Hopefully that'll work. Turn that over, and then there goes the gear and the retainer and the thrust washer. Well, it appears I got lucky on this military auction case, because these needle bearings and that thrust washer don't even look like they're broke in, nor do the gears. This thing is just brand new inside. That's going to be great for my Mod 50 on the Critchfield. It just needs seals and put back together. I'll run some dye through the gear case gears to just see that the thrust mesh, that the thrust washer mesh is what I want. There's a bunch of special tools you can buy from OMC or BRP now that will allow you to set that preload. That gear number for the main forward gear is 319766, and this baby's brand new. Well, Tom, it feels I've been hooped on that one gear case. This military one is gorgeous. It looks brand new, but those gears that were in this one that was apart previously, they're not even close. Next step is to remove the pinion nut, and that's a special OMC tool, 312752. It fits on the 4-spline dry shaft and an 11/16 inch wrench. And part 2 is coming, where I put this on the floor and break the nut. Or I can just do it. The wrench goes down the hole onto the pinion nut. Quick, quick, quick. There you go. So the wrench is down there on the pinion nut. And I'll just put it on the floor. I like to get these things on the floor so they're not falling off the bench. And there you can see I'm on the nut. And I've got the special tool on the dry shaft. And you just give this baby a pull. So now, before I can turn that pinion nut off all the way, and the nut is loose now, I always leave this top drive shaft housing intact because it doesn't put any side loads then on the drive shaft if you're trying to twist that nut on the pinion nut off. If you take that out first and the shaft's wobbling around, you could damage a needle bearing. So this is going to come apart now. There, now you just finish taking the pinion nut out. Turn that guy with the wrench and get the pinion nut off, and then you just yank on the dry shaft and it'll fall right out of there. You can see the nut is almost off. And these are off, so I just got to pry that housing out, and then this thing's going to pop apart. With the pinion nut off, you can just come up here and give this a tug, and then your dry shaft comes right out. And this thing is looking like there might be a little bit of pitting on that guy, but well, this one got torn down just in time. You can see this is your top shim that sets the pinion depth. And there's some rust and corrosion on that shim, but the bearings are beautiful. So this gear case got torn down just in time. Top drive shaft bearing is in beautiful condition. You can see there's started to be some pitting on the shaft where the seals are. That's what probably started letting the water in. We'll have to clean that up. Next little vid here, before you can take the prop shaft out of there, it's even loose, just ready to fall out, but it's still held in there by this shift rod, so we gotta take it out and unthread that. I usually count them if it's a motor that's been together, count the turns, but in this case it doesn't matter because this motor, who knows where it came from. So there's the shift rod, and now the dry shaft should just fall right out of there. I'll get it out and show you in the next step. It's just a little bit. Should have mentioned in the last vid there on the shift rod, you should actually push that down to the lowest gear position, whichever that is. I forget, but it's got to come down all the way before it'll clear the case, and then this whole mess will come right out of there. And there you can see your shift rod, and that's the shift rod right there. And if that's not in the down position, it won't come out of the case. Gears look good. The dry shaft's not very good on this particular case, so probably have to try to find one or get it re-chromed or something. There you have it. The gear case stripped. I got all the new seals. Bearings all look great, everything, just that input shaft. I don't quite like the look of it. Maybe I'll replace it, maybe I won't. We'll see. There you have it. Nitro gear case teardown by Reg Reamer. Talk to you later.